Have you ever stared at a stock chart and just felt completely lost, like you're trying to decipher some ancient secret code? Well, what if I told you it is a language, and it's one that's spoken by every single market on the planet, from stocks to crypto and beyond? Stick with me because today we're going to learn how to speak it fluently.
You know, this quote really nails a huge problem, especially for beginners. So many people get it backwards. They see the price rising and think, I gotta buy, right at the very top. And then they panic and sell when they should probably be buying. It's this super frustrating cycle, and honestly, it's where a lot of people lose money.
But what if you could actually break out of that cycle for good? That's what we're here to do. We're going to pull back the curtain and decode this language using one of the most powerful tools out there, the candlestick chart. By the end of this, you're going to have the key to unlock the story the market is telling you minute by minute.
Okay, so if we're going to learn a new language, we have to start with the alphabet, right? The absolute basics. And in the world of trading charts, the individual letters, the building blocks of everything, are the candlesticks themselves. So let's dive in and break one down.
So what is a candlestick? Well, it's basically a snapshot. It's a really clever visual that shows you everything that happened with the price in a specific window of time. And get this, these aren't some modern invention. They were actually developed way back in the 1700s in Japan by rice merchants. The fact that we're still using them hundreds of years later tells you just how powerful they really are.
Every single candle, whether it represents 1 minute of trading or an entire day, is built from just these 4 essential data points. Where did the price open? What was the absolute high it reached? What was the lowest low? And crucially, where did it close? Together, these 4 numbers paint a surprisingly detailed picture.
At its very heart, every candle tells a simple story about a battle. If the closing price is higher than the opening price, the candle is green. That means the buyers won that round. We call that bullish. But if the price closed lower than where it started, the candle's red. The sellers won. We call that bearish. It's literally a scorecard for the tug of war between buyers and sellers.
Okay, so color tells us who won, but it's the actual shape of the candle. That's where things get really interesting. The shape tells you a much deeper story about the psychology of the market. You know, the fear, the greed, the indecision that's driving all those price moves.
So here's a quick look at some of the basic vocabulary. A long, solid body, green or red, shows real strength and conviction from one side. But see those ones with the tiny little bodies, the doji or spinning top? That's total indecision. It's a stalemate. And then you get these really interesting ones, like the hammer or the shooting star. These can be powerful clues that the whole trend might be about to flip.
So we have our letters now. We know what the shapes mean. But a single letter, A or B, doesn't tell you much on its own, does it? The real magic, the real understanding, happens when we start stringing these candles together to form words, sentences, and the entire story of the market.
Now listen up, because this is probably the most important rule of all. Context is everything. A hammer candle showing up after a long, nasty downtrend, that could be a huge buy signal. But that exact same candle shape in the middle of a messy sideways market, it could mean absolutely nothing. Where a candle appears is just as important as what it looks like. All right, time for a pop quiz. Let's put our new skills to the test. Take a look at this chart. What do you think is going on here? What's the story that these candles are trying to tell us? Let's walk through it together.
Okay, first things first, we have to establish the context. What's the scene? Well, we see a clear series of strong green candles marching upwards. The story so far is simple. The buyers are totally in control, pushing the price higher and higher.
And then, bam, the plot twist. Right at the very peak of that climb, a shooting star appears. Remember that shape? That long wick sticking out the top tells us the buyers tried to keep pushing higher, but the sellers came in with overwhelming force and slammed the price right back down. This is a massive warning sign. The buyers are getting tired.
And finally, we get the confirmation. The very next candle seals the deal. It's red, and it closes below our shooting star. That's the market telling us, yep, you read that right, the reversal is on. The story is officially changed from a bullish uptrend to the start of a new bearish downtrend. And just like that, we read the market's mind.
So, what does this all mean for you? Well, it means you now have a completely new lens to look at the market through. It's not just a bunch of random green and red lines on a screen anymore. It's a narrative. It's a story that's constantly unfolding, and now you have the tools to read it.
So let's just lock in the most important points. 1. Every candle is a battle. 2. The shape
tells you the mood of the market. 3, and this is the big one, context is king. Where it happens matters. And 4, you have to combine them to get the full story. Do that, and you'll start making much, much smarter decisions.
Look, we've just covered the basic alphabet and a little bit of grammar of the market's language. The next step? Well, that's up to you. It's time to start reading. So the real question is, now that you have the tools, what stories are you going to uncover out there?